Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm Watching Yellowjackets, Season 2, Episode 3.
Digestif.
Huh?
Like a biscuit, like a digestive biscuit.
Oh, digestive.
Yeah.
I heard. Did you do it with like a Kiwi accent?
Not a I didn't mean to do it with a Kiwi accent.
Digestive.
No, it would have the. I don't think I can do it because I've never heard Melanie Linskin-Smith say it. I can't talk.
Okay, this show has no right being as funny as it is.
It's so funny.
In weird ways.
Okay, through the cabin into Coach's room, hearing Misty do Sally Field's monologue from the end of Steel Magnolias.
Pretty well.
When
she started, we were like, oh no. And then when she finished, we were like, that was not bad.
She was doing her very best Sally Field, and it was working. What is her name? Young Misty, Samantha Hanratty. She's fantastic.
This is an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
I have so many notes because I'm also like, this is the most I've ever felt for Travis when he was like trying to escape the baby shower to go to Coach Ben's room.
Who is dissociating hard.
That's a good place to start. Is that what's happening?
I think so.
Or is he dying? Both?
I don't know why he would be dying.
Starving. I mean, he's down a leg. He's starving. He's like...
His leg should be healed enough that it shouldn't give him trouble anymore.
But is that not one of the things that it's like, can't an injury knock against you in survival rates?
Well, sure, but he has people providing for him. He's not in the position where his injury should increase his odds of dying of natural causes. That is, however, although you're right, he did not eat Jackie, and they have not had any other food.
We'll get to Ben in a second. Okay. And I love this. I love that this show is about what it's about. Mm-hmm. Because it opened up very provocatively, Season 1, Episode 1, with them hunting and eating a girl. And so in your mind, you're like, oh, wow, how do we get to that? And it turns out we're going to explore how we get to that.
But also so easy.
Well, so easy, but it is. I was almost going to say the exact opposite. It is very organic.
It's been gradual.
One thing at a time. Yeah. Because we open up with them reeling from the events of the night before in various ways. Yeah. Love that. I absolutely love that. They feel rightfully conflicted.
Yeah.
The thing that I want to tell them, which is not going to take away the conflict of eating your best frenemy.
Sure.
But they didn't this time. They didn't choose to do this. This wasn't a decision that was made.
Yeah.
That was a freak accident.
So, yes, it was like they were not planning to eat Jackie. The snow happening, well, it was definitely magic of some kind, but that happened. And it's also like you're going to tell a bunch of starving girls to not eat what smells like roasted pork.
It was not a decision.
However, I do think we can shame Ty a little for going so hard on her face, apparently.
Fucking Ty.
She is bottoming out in both timelines.
But she's bonkers because she comes out and Van is like holding it together.
Yeah.
Barely. But
Van and Natalie and like Lottie and Shauna at this point is like,
whatever.
Well, what else was I supposed to do besides eat my best frenemy, like you said?
But Ty comes out, freaks out. This is brand new information to her.
Yeah, what did you guys do? What happened?
And Van is just sort of, I love how Van is able to be surprised by this.
Yeah.
Because this is like the 5th time that she's thought she had a handle on the Ty situation. Because she's like, you were speaking to me.
It's been presumably going for months now, too, whatever's happening with Ty.
She's somehow still being surprised when it happens. Yeah. And so she had to break it to Ty that Ty tackled this head on.
Yeah, literally.
And so we're sort of like meshing that with Coach Ben's having flashbacks. I guess?
I think part of it is flashbacks.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's why we got that previously on when he was telling Natalie, she was like, do you have a boyfriend? And he was like, well, I did. He wanted me to move in the city with him. So I think up until that.
So hot,
yeah.
Paul. His name is like Francois something or other. We recognized him from other things. He was on Midnight Texas, which was a good show.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, they're living their best gay 90s life. Well, they're trying to, but he's
making what looks like hellish chowder. That's not like any chowder I've ever seen.
It just kind of looked like a chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
Like
And he was like, it's for the chowder off or whatever, chowder-a-thon.
That is so not important.
Huge problems with it. And then he had the absolute nerve to be pissed at Ben for not knowing that there wouldn't be cumin in it.
And he set Ben up for failure.
He did!
Because clearly he was angling towards the moving in conversation, so it's like he already knows that the tensions were high.
Also, I'm sorry, who wants to go to a New Jersey chowder-thon? What the hell is happening?
Not Coach Ben.
Definitely not.
So anyways, he sort of, I guess, reflecting on that and wondering what would have happened had he chose that instead of this. And so there's like a fantasy of him going back to Paul, and then it's like interrupted with the news saying that the plane happened. I don't know. It was necessary and needed time spent with Coach Ben, but there wasn't like new information.
Yeah. I mean, we have to feel a little bit closer to him so that when they're chasing him through the woods and he falls in the pit of spikes,
I guess I don't know what I think is going to happen.
I'm not sure either.
Because they obviously do get to that place.
Yeah.
But
my theory currently is that it was Mari in episode 1. She's the only one really with hair that works. With like,
I think it could easily just be someone we don't know, which
just like one of the random girls that's
I'm
kind
gonna
of in the
switch
background.
topics. Misty's friend Crystal's not real.
I don't think so either.
They were having that conversation and I was like, this girl is not real.
I also had a thought last week, which I think has been debunked as of this week, where I thought Lottie's camp was back there. I thought Lottie had set up her camp back there. But when Walter...
It's like in New York.
Yeah, like Cherry Hill, New York or something. Walter texted back and I was like, oh, okay. That was like...
Yeah, I don't think Crystal's real. And she's leaning into all of... Not necessarily Misty's worst instincts. I don't know. I don't know what I think is going on there.
Yeah, no one else is really... someone else said Crystal's name last week, though. I feel like... But I can't be 100% sure.
So they were having a baby shower. It was weird. And
yeah, I mean, they can't really, like, do anything.
Well, Lottie gave her a blanket with that symbol, with that emblem, and then Shauna nose bled on it, and then birds fell out of the sky. It's the kind of thing where it's like, there could and probably are rational scientific explanations for everything that's happening, but the amount of things happening. Yeah.
The Venn diagram.
It's closing in.
It would be weird if this was a coincidence. Also, Misty wanted to make Jackie broth, which is, they didn't even put a button on it. It would probably have been an excellent idea. They literally didn't even put a button on it. She just was talking to Crystal and she was like, I think we should have, like, they shot down my broth idea. And Crystal was like, it was a good idea. And I'm just like, it kind of was. I do like they did suck her bones clean, but like,
I like the varying degrees of coping. Like some girls are fine with it, and other girls are holding on for dear life. We did have in the flashback, we had a scene with Van and Ty where Ty wakes up and Van's like, "I'm gonna go with you," and she like went out into the woods like she's been doing, and she like charged straight up to the tree with the symbol on it. And she basically is saying that she's another personality that's acting on behalf of the man with no eyes.
Yeah.
And whoever this personality is only let out, or like Ty doesn't let it out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing.
And then she had a vision of herself in the hospital bathroom, because Simone is still not out of the woods yet, is what the nurse said. She was also having visions of, like, them telling her that she needs another transfusion and her white blood cell counts are low. Red blood cell?
Red.
Okay. Regardless, then she goes in the bathroom and she turns around, but her reflection doesn't. So her reflection is looking at the back of her, and when she turns back around, the reflection is saying, go to her. But then it like covers.
It's also real surly. Yeah. This reflection.
Yeah, but then it covers her face like Van's bandages did. So I think that Ty is going to find Van. I thought Van was with Lottie. I don't know why I just like assumed Van was with Lottie.
I don't know. Also, Ty drew the symbol on Simone's hand. It's still very up in the air as to whether or not the symbol is protective or like an omen.
Well, look, those birds were small, but that's food.
But was Natalie not right that it could also be disease?
Not to just fall out of the sky like that all at once. That would be bizarre.
Know. Natalie's a fascinating character because she kind of sucks.
That's okay. I've tried to say this a couple times, and I feel like I haven't gotten the point across. I feel like some of the pairs of actresses are doing a better job than the other ones. And it's not that I think that young Natalie and Juliette Lewis are doing a bad job, but that is a huge dichotomy to me. Because young Nat is like very self-sufficient and she's able to carry out all these things. She's got a very strong moral center. And I don't know if just like after the situation, you get caught up in drugs and then you turn into Juliette Lewis. But they are different performances, in my opinion.
Okay.
I like them both a lot. That's just the most different one.
She's kind of like a, for lack of a better term, like kind of like a buzzkill.
Yeah.
That just rides on she like rides on Occam's razor, where it's like, she's like, well, it's probably this thing. And so I'm just going to shit on.
Well,
and it's like, well, you're right. It probably isn't. Although I still can't decide how magic I think this show is. And that's part of the fun. I don't know that I want a solid answer.
So not to bring this around to something that you felt very tepid about when we just recently rewatched it, but I think she is kind of the Jack to Lottie's Locke from Lost. And she is very like, no, dude, everything out here is science. Like, we're not doing this. And Lottie is like, but the mysticism. So that goes into the present day stuff, though, where like somehow Lottie has been like, for like 4 days in a row, has been like, you can leave in the morning. And she's just like constantly trying to get Nat to like join in on activities and stuff.
But also Natalie is sort of like not worthless, but she's a mess. She
totally is. But that's how she's getting preyed upon by Lottie's cult.
I don't know that I think she's being preyed upon. She doesn't have much going on.
No, I know, but that's the thing is like,
I am Team Lottie. I hate the comparison to Lost.
I'm just saying,
because I hate Locke and I like Jack.
Yeah.
But you make them into women, and suddenly my priorities
You're
shift.
all over the place. No, I think Lottie is a really interesting character, and I don't necessarily think that she's doing anything that we've seen so far. I don't think she's doing anything directly harmful.
There's once or twice that she's maybe lied.
Yeah.
But she does it so casually.
The lie about Travis was
that's
most
really stuck in your craw. She did it
most
again.
Egregious.
I don't remember what she said.
One?
She did it again. Okay. And I was like, I don't think that's what happened.
Well, and then she had a vision, another vision at the end about the bees.
Been having visions, though.
Yeah,
that's
she had
just
another
a Lottie
one.
special. And it was intense.
It was.
And is it Simone Kessel?
Yeah.
She was.
Yeah.
It was, I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed.
The bees were producing blood honey. It was terrifying. And then she heard a woman say, "Il veut de sang," which just means he wants blood. But then that's not what she really said.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Then she was like, are you going to have lunch?
Yeah. I think Lottie heard that in her mind. I don't think that woman said it to her.
Sure.
That woman's nobody.
We then have your favorite, Shauna.
Oh God. She's kind of
so fascinating.
She's like not doing much in the flashback because she's like reeling from eating Jackie, and this like baby shower is like a sweet idea, but it's not really anything. But in the present, she and Jeff are having like diner food. I missed the strawberry joke that you guys lost your minds about.
They were like winding down and the waitress was coming over. And he said, I think I've pinpointed it. It was the strawberry lube.
Oh, okay.
And the waitress just turned around and walked away.
Okay.
And I was going to bring that up earlier when I was like, the show has no right being as funny as it is, because that written in the script, directed by the director, whichever the case.
It didn't need to happen.
It has no bearing on the story, but it makes the enjoyment of the story more. And so keeping, like, when you're dealing with themes like this, like, yeah, obviously you could go like full Dark No Stars.
Yeah.
But this weird sense of humor just makes it.
It's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have this whole conversation about when Jeff decided to be the person that he is, the like boring, like married guy that he is. And then Shauna proceeds to tell him he's not boring, but then in explaining why she slept with Adam, she goes on to call Jeff boring in increasingly hurtful ways.
Shauna's interesting to me for many reasons, and I've said this, I think, almost every episode we've talked about it, but we don't see it from women hardly ever.
Mhm.
And it's something fascinating that I think we tend to assume that we try to put people in categories and characters especially, and we tend to assume that if you do one thing, that's what you do. And so I think it's fascinating exploring someone who is relatively, or actually very, very much mild-mannered.
Yeah.
I mean, she seems to be her resting state. Like, I don't think that's her. Do you think it's not? You think that's what we're dealing with?
I think she's trying to be mild-mannered. I think especially with the resurgence of all of this stuff from her past, I think it's breaking that mild-mannered shell around her to the point where after they leave the diner and they're driving, Jeff is like, we're gonna go like to Colonial Williamsburg.
Great idea. Love the enthusiasm, but
so far away. Shauna's like in Virginia. Hilarious. So they like almost run a guy over, and then it turns out no, he's trying to steal.
He was like comically hot, and I do love that. I love that.
Comically hot.
And it's not the guy that she threatened later.
Yeah.
But I do love this world populated with these like comically hot dudes.
Yeah. So he ends up stealing their minivan, even though Shauna gets the gun away from him. And is like but Jeff is like, no,
and it's
dude,
so
take
weird.
The car.
It was so weird being on both of their sides.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because we are watching the show with the flashback, when Shauna gets the gun, we're like, yeah, haha! But then when Jeff is like, what the fuck are you doing? We're like, oh. He's got a point.
You've already killed a man. Are you trying to do it again?
But I see what you're saying. I think is what I was saying is it's like, I think we have these ideas of people and subsequently characters. It's like, if you've killed somebody, then you're a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you cheat on somebody, then you're a cheater. If you lie about something, you're a liar. Like, it's like you are this thing. And I think it's fascinating watching this character who is capable of these things, but that's not necessarily what they are or who they are. It's a facet of them.
Yeah, but I disagree that it's just a facet of Shauna. I do think that at her core, I think this tragedy at 17 really did a number on her, and she's been keeping it contained. She was giddy at the thought that she might be able to kill that man at the end.
I love that.
And the face journey that Melanie Linsky went on.
When he was like, you're shaking. And then she was like, yeah, it's not because I'm scared.
It's because I'm excited. I like want to do this so bad. And she ended up not doing it and just taking her van. But
I guess I'm wondering. But I think that there could be, I mean, granted, these are killing people exist. If you kill people, you exist outside of polite society.
Sure.
So I was going to say, I wonder if there's some way where the two parts can become whole.
I don't even think so. That's what we need to be talking about with Ty, because I don't think that Shauna is at war with herself that much. I think she knows that's in her, but because it's been suppressed so long, I think she kind of can't get a handle on how it's coming out. And so that's why she's doing these reckless things like having an affair and which sent her into a tailspin that caused her to kill Adam. It's like she didn't go over there thinking she was going to kill him. She just was like, I don't believe or trust you anymore, and you're a danger to my entire world, so you have to go. I don't know. Shauna's still my favorite. I think she's so fascinating, and mostly modern day Shauna until past Shauna kind of figures her shit up again. I'm so curious about the baby.
I don't understand the scene with Jeff and Kevin at the gym. I didn't get it because Jeff knows Shauna had an affair. So why was he pretending that he didn't to Kevin? If anything, that just makes Shauna look more guilty.
I think
had he been like, yeah, we know, I was part of it. I don't know if that would be.
I think it's mostly just to try to get Kevin to like back off, where if it turns out to just be like a domestic thing, then it's like whatever.
Well,
also if Jeff doesn't know about it, then why would Jeff have killed him?
No, I know, it just makes Shauna seem more suspicious.
But if Jeff didn't know, why would Shauna have to kill him?
Not that him knowing requires her to do it, but it gives their motive within their relationship that she was betraying Jeff.
Yeah. I don't know. He didn't do the right thing.
Okay.
No.
Was that the point of the
I'm not
Jeff,
arguing
you should have left it.
He just is like, now he's so amped up, he won't stop listening to like late 90s alt rock. And it's like...
I did want to say this seems important. Natalie took Jackie's body to the plane where the rest of them were, where they were going to bury them, and she encountered a moose.
Oh, no, like an albino moose. Yeah. She tried to shoot it and it didn't work.
Well, it seemed like she did shoot it once.
No, she missed. Because it charged and then it ran away.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't trust it.
The white moose?
Yeah, that whole scene, I don't trust that. We kind of glossed over it, but Shauna basically went back and got her car back, and it was awesome.
It was fantastic. The like description of like how to skin a human, and that guy was pissing himself.
Because it's too specific.
Way too specific.
Because she wasn't like... Most people, if they were bluffing, would be like, do you know what it's like to kill a man? Do you know the look in a man's eye? Which she did touch on the look in a man's eye.
Yeah, but after all the really specific skinning.
But the peeling. Because it's... Oh, God, that was a fantastic scene of chicken.
Really good. And she won, and Melanie Linsky was fantastic.
I feel... Oh, Misty. I was like, we're missing something. Misty and Walter.
Yeah.
So they were interrogating Randy, who was Jeff's friend. I did not remember at all.
Somebody clocked that in the comments last week. They were like, the only other person that we know that's been staying long-term at that hotel is Randy. And I was like, that's fair.
He was very deliberate in season 1. Like, he was very kind of like red herring-y, I guess. Yeah. Also, I did want to say that, because we've mentioned a couple times, Ty's eyes, Tawny Cypress has blue eyes.
Yeah, we also got a comment about that.
I think that it's brown contacts, and
but I think it's reflecting. Either they are reddish brown contacts on purpose because she's going.
I think
totally
they might
bonkers.
be leaning because there's so many close-up shots. There's no way that they didn't notice that.
Exactly. Because I was on the other hand, I was like, well, maybe the brown is just like reacting with the blue behind, but there's no way. But I think it's because Jasmine has brown eyes. Yeah.
So yeah, Misty. I love Misty.
I love her so much.
I also love how even still, we're a season and a half in and we're doubting her because when Misty's like, hit him, and I'm like, don't hit him. And it turns out that's exactly what needed to happen.
I'm digging Elijah Wood so much as someone who has always loved Elijah Wood, but generally only watches Lord of the Rings once a year. I like don't get a lot of just like other Elijah Wood fixes, and so it's very fun.
You know what's funny is, where I go before I go Lord of the Rings is Sin City, is Kevin. Because I wondered for half a minute if he was real, because we had that thing but he's interacting with too many other people.
Yeah, way too many other people.
Yeah, I don't trust him. He knows her whole deal, and he knows she was downvoting his theories on Adam, and she lied straight to his face, very boldly and specifically and with lots of detail.
After specifically calling him out as being a hacker, like he has no way to double check the facts that she was just spitting.
She could. I mean, that's a power move.
Yeah.
To lie straight.
I don't know, man.
It's like Star Wars when you watch Rogue One and then you watch A New Hope.
Yeah.
And it's like the end of Rogue One when Princess Leia's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's like,
No,
we followed you from the scene of the crime.
The end of Rogue One is literally Leia going, bye, as the elevator closes in front of Darth Vader's face. And the beginning of A New Hope is...
Officer, I don't know what you were talking about.
I completely blacked out. I can't remember a thing.
So anyways, they interrogated Randy. They found out maybe about the cult. Although it doesn't seem like Misty
knows, which seems insane to me that she's been keeping tabs. Well, she's at least been keeping tabs on Nat, but like it felt like she was keeping tabs on like the ones that were close by. So like Nat and Ty and Shauna. I can't believe she's not keeping tabs on Lottie. Like that feels like a misstep. Unless she was throwing Walter off the scent to be like, what about the purple people? But then she clued him in about the potential credit card charge.
I don't know.
It feels like a weird character misstep for Misty not to know about Lottie's cult. That feels really weird.
Also, how long before Natalie is sleeping with Lisa? Nicole Maines.
Oh God. Or Lisa. I mean, I don't know. Long enough for Nat to get the keys to Lottie's cabin, to Lottie's private cabin.
That just reminded me that when that was her name, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
When she cut the chicken's head off, it showed the blood going down the stump, and it looked like jam, and that looked like the same thing that was in the beehive.
Oh.
I don't know if that meant anything or if it was just.
I don't know. But it also looked kind of like that weird melted stump that Javi is definitely still living in. I'm not letting that go.
Okay, now I'm back to thinking
he's dead
because how? Unless there's like another cult out there in the woods, like how was he by himself surviving?
I don't know.
When this group of like,
because it also has been like months, like 2 months.
Yeah. So now I don't know, because this show pulls stunts. So
yeah,
I love it so much.
We still haven't seen Lauren Ambrose, but hopefully that'll be next week. Because I think Ty is going, like we said, going to find Van.
Also, Walter's boat was called Great Expectations.
Yeah.
That feels like worth noting.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Aquila has a baby nephew that they were talking about that she and Ty were discussing. I don't know if it's going to come to anything, but they were discussing it.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic as always.
That was our conversation about episode 3 of season 2 of Yellowjackets. If you want, you can like and subscribe and leave us comments. And we have a Patreon if you want to join at patreon.com/soimwatching the show. We also have a Cashapp and a Venmo if you want to tip and help keep the lights on. And yeah.
Bye.
That's it.